Hey everyone, my name is Carla and I am the main creator of Barnes Farm Candy Shop, and I just thought I would hop on here real quick. I have been terrible about figuring out an intro for the other videos that I started and put on this page, so bear with me as I try to figure that out. So I just thought I would hop on. Was finally, this past week was week 4 of the pantry challenge with Three Rivers Pantry Challenge. If you want to check that out with anyone else that's doing it, you can just do hashtag Three Rivers Challenge on YouTube. I am happy with, now I can say that the 4 weeks is done. I'm happy with how the 4 weeks ended up. Last week was pretty tough for me. I'll go into it more later, but I had a miscarriage in July. And my due date was it's Monday today, and it's today. My due date was today. So this past week has been tough. We ate out twice. I'm not guilty of it because I have felt heaviness, I guess. Anyway, that besides the point. I did do a really good job at making some meals. One fun meal that we did was Three Rivers. She did a last video, I think she did a breakfast bake where she just cut up all of her bread from the week. That even included like waffles from the week. I thought that was really cool because I like to bulk make pancakes and waffles, so that would even have been cool. But I had a discount loaf of bread that we bought, and I just cut that up, and we had some cinnamon bread that my mom gave me last week that they were going to throw away. So my husband took it from their house, and I just cut that all up. I put about 8 eggs in there and whisked that with some heavy cream and some cinnamon and a little bit of sugar. At this time I actually used honey just because I thought it was a healthier alternative. I have tons of honey, so I just thought that it would be easy. And then I baked it in the oven for, I think, a half hour is what we actually ended up doing, but it turned out fantastic. And even my fussy son, who usually only likes pancakes or French toast or waffles, like in whole form, he even ate it. And I think next time he would even eat it better. So, that turned out great. I did a meatloaf. I did the Paula Deen bacon cheeseburger meatloaf. That is honestly my favorite meatloaf I have ever made. Countless times we just go back to it because it's always my favorite. I like a plain Jane meatloaf if you want to make something, whatever. But my husband tends to eat the Paula Deen one much more. So I tend to make that one quite a bit. And if you want the recipe, just let me know. Otherwise, I just Google every single time I look for the recipe. I truly just Google Paula Deen bacon cheeseburger and it pops up. So, and then we had mashed potatoes with that. I made a crock pot chicken gravy. And then I do mashed potatoes on the side of that too. We had a lot of potatoes that I freeze dried last year. And then I also froze a bunch of mashed potatoes in my freezer. And yes, I'm using potatoes from last year. I didn't process this year. The only way I processed potatoes was I canned them. I didn't freeze dry any because we didn't use them as much as I thought we would. I think it's just because right now in our stage in our life, we are living in a really small kitchen. So all of my food is in a closet my processed food that I specifically processed is in a closet that I don't get to very often. So knowing that going forward, I know that I'll have to change that about our new home and our structure. But anyway, I think those were my main 3 meals. We typically only make 2 to 3 meals a week. And then, sorry if you hear my dogs or my baby's on the monitor right now. He just woke up. I was hoping I would have a few more minutes to film this. And my dogs are getting antsy to go get him. But otherwise, we typically will fill in with, honestly, like ham sandwiches and some tortilla chips, or we make nachos a lot with taco meat on top and shredded cheese. And also one of our other guilty pleasure favorites is ramen noodles. We buy fancy is what we call them. We don't buy top ramen, but we used to go to the Asian markets. Now, this has been like 3 years ago that we went, so I know that they're probably, I think they're coming up on their expiration date this year, but to me, it doesn't bother me as long as the sauce is not rancid inside the packets. But anyway, so we buy them in cases typically, and this last couple years we've been living, we lived at both parents' homes, so that's also something that I will do talk about later in the future videos. But yeah, we hadn't really had access a lot to eating our own foods a lot, and that was hard. So but that's a guilty pleasure. We eat it with some lettuce and cucumbers. We actually had that once this week. We still have a cucumber, so we'll probably eat it again this week. As far as how much I spent this week on groceries, I think I only spent, I want to say $17, because I did buy one cucumber, and I buy the English cucumbers, and then I bought a pack of romaine lettuce, and I bought a gallon of milk and 1 dozen eggs and a package of cheese, and the cheese was on sale. So, but I think we did really well. Overall, I think we spent about $120 on groceries. No, I couldn't have. No, 2, 4, 6. Oh, $92, I guess is what, or yeah, $92 is what we spent this month. And I think that's fantastic. I think going forward, I don't think I'm going to film this next month, but I am going to try and be frugal and be mindful of what is in my freezer and in my pantry, because we have plenty of food. A lot of what I was finding this past couple weeks is that I wanted grains. And unfortunately, I had freeze dried a bunch of kale, and I powdered it because we like to have it in powder form, so I can add it to pasta sauce and almost everything that is savory. I add it to it, and unfortunately I didn't have enough this year, so that will be something I will definitely have in the garden this year to be able to freeze dry. We definitely used way more than I thought we would, and now that my son is getting older and getting more fussy, I tend to try and sneak it in things. Maybe one day I'll do a video if anyone's curious on how I make my son's schlop. It's typically just whatever vegetables and fruits I have in the pantry and the fridge or freezer or the freeze dryer, or freeze dried vegetables, with some yogurt and some protein powder, and I mix it all together and I put it in pouches. But if you want something, a video on that, I think I'll do something like that in the future. I know a couple of my family members have asked for that. So, but yeah, I think that overall, I would say that we did really well. Like I said, this past week was kind of hard for me to be motivated. Today, we ate Taco Bell for breakfast, and I consider us off the pantry challenge now today, but we ate Taco Bell for breakfast and Dairy Queen for lunch. It has been a terrible day. We probably either won't eat supper or we'll have like a sandwich after my son goes down for bed. But that is about it. I feel like it definitely helped me open my eyes to how much food we actually do have in our home, rather than using whatever. It's nice to use what you have go off of what you have in the pantry and go off of what you have in your freezer. Look in your freezer and look at what you think you're going to do that week and see if you can make meals out of it. And if you are, say you want Korean barbecue or something and you need one thing for that, then make that, rather than having, or if it calls for sliced beef but you have ground beef, no big deal. Use the ground beef because that's what you have. It really helped me be mindful this week. And I think that was something that or this month. And that is what I have come to knowledge of. Last year we canned a ton of tomato items. I have diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes. I have spaghetti sauce. I have roasted spaghetti sauce. I have tomato soup base. I have tomato broth I made. I have so much tomato base because we were gifted some tomatoes from a farmer friend, and also then we had tomatoes in our garden, and they were just coming out our ears. You know what? I'm really blessed and thankful that I was able to can all of those up last year before my son was old enough to be a worm and run around and keep me way more busy than last year. So I'm very thankful for that. But we didn't use a ton of it in the last 10 months, I would say. I think the thing that we used most that I've canned is I canned potatoes, diced potatoes, and we use those all the time, at least once a week. For at least last year, once a week we were sauteing them up because it's super simple. I am Norwegian, by the way, so I do talk with my hands, so I apologize for that. But anything else, I think I will leave it up to you to post any questions down below if you have questions. And otherwise, I think my next video, I'm going to try and make it a Q&A. Otherwise, it might be a recipe. Also, tell me what you want to see. Do you want to see things that are in the freeze dryer? I can do a couple videos of candy. The main reason I named this page Barnes Farm Candy Shop is just because that is my side gig and I sell candy on that. So I thought it'd be just convenient to keep everything flowing together. This page won't necessarily be just about freeze-dried candy. I will do a variety of things. It'll be homesteading stuff. We own a farmstead that is 10 acres long, 10 acres, and it has a bunch of outbuildings on it, but no home on it yet. And we are just in the process of signing a contract with a builder. So I will take you guys along with that, and I will try and film as often as I can to give you kind of a glimpse into what we are doing on our property. We have so far pulled a building down. We have moved, there was the gentleman that owned it before, and there was a lot of stuff on the property. So we have done a lot of organizing and moving stuff off the property. So that has taken up a lot of our time. Also, not gonna lie, we have neglected a lot of the farm. Sorry, stop, please. My dog is shaking the bed. But we have done, when we had my son, it was hard to focus on that. Zeus. Sorry, you guys. Anyway, so I have not learned to edit videos yet, so my videos will not be edited probably until we get to the new house and until I get a computer setup system where I can sit down and edit things. It's going to be raw. It's going to be truly raw right now. I want to just try and get some content out there. I think that our world is worth showing you guys. And so that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, I will talk to you all later, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, if you could really like and share, show your friends. I am open to doing anything, so if you guys have things you want to request me show you, if you want to meet my dogs or my son, I'm open up to that too. So anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.